big stories. We're taking a look at Leeds United, and All Leeds TV Mike Chard has joined us. Right, Mike?
Mike, good
evening. Yeah, not too bad. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're good, matey. I mean, look, we should be talking about, how excited Leeds are to get back in the Premier League and, build from, the situation that they've started at the start of the season, and they've gone and done really well. But we're talking about your manager getting sacked.
It's ridiculous. It really, really is. I don't see why you would sack him. He's breaking records left, right, and centre. It just doesn't make any sense.
Why do you think they... I mean, look, his record in the Premier League is not particularly great. We all know that. Managers change. I mean, Scotty Parker's record, both relatively young. Scotty clearly's got a brilliant future ahead of him as a manager. He would have learnt from his time in the Premier League. Managers learn, players learn all the time. You never stop learning in football.
Yeah. The problem is, though, yes, his record is poor, but if you look at his Norwich side, he was never backed. He lost his best players. When he got sacked, he lost Wendia. Who did he replace him with? Nobody's. Whereas we're backed by the 49ers. We've got Red Bull as the investors. So unless there's something going on behind the scenes that they think that we can get a more high-profile manager, listen, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense as well. I know that sounds stupid, but look, every season, last 2 seasons, 3 teams have come up, 3 teams have gone down. Most of the managers are going to get the sack early. Maybe Leeds are looking at it going, there are players who are really good in the Championship and they're not quite good enough in the Premier League. There are them players out there. They don't quite do it. It's the same for managers, right? Some managers are really good at getting teams out of the Championship. They know how to do it. They've been there. They can get a team going. But they're just not quite good enough in the Premier League to, get a team playing and keeping them up. Leeds might look at it and say, look, we've got a bit of money. We've got some, we've got good investment. We're a big football club. Why don't we make the decision now instead of waiting, 8, 9, 10 games into the season where we're hoping that it goes well and we're letting him buy these players, and the inevitable happens. He's not quite good enough.
Like I said, I can see it from both sides. I'm not one of these people that's just one-minded. You got to see it from both sides. But for me, he's broken records, like I've already said. Goals galore. Defensively, he's the second best defensive record in the Championship at the moment. Who's to say he can't do that in the Prem? I'm not going to say that he's going to be the second best defence in the league, but you've got to give him a chance, in my opinion.
Well, Burnley did that, didn't they, with Vincent Kompany? He broke all the records, didn't he?
Yep, and took them back down. If this does happen, are there any names that you've been linked with, Mike, that encourage you? I mean, look, football fans, we're fickle, right? Yeah, right now it does feel harsh. It does feel as though it's not the right call. But as soon as, if that call is made and you bring in an experienced Premier League manager that knows his way around the Premier League, we're quick to kind of change our opinions, especially if results start coming. But is there someone that you'd like?
Nobody in particular that stands out at the moment. There's been so many names linked. I've seen Jose Mourinho being linked today. But then other reports says that he's taking the Portugal job. So again, it's depending on who the names are. You can't just look at it straightforward as that. There are managers out of work at the moment, a manager that could be sacked at the end of the season. So
Big Sam?
Unless there is somebody lined up.
Big Sam?
Shut up.
Well, no, I'm just saying, you talk about experienced managers.
Up,
what do you mean? What do you mean, shut up?
What do you mean? Like, shut up. You're talking absolute garbage.
Big Sam.
Don't, come on.
You can't go back there again.
No, just saying. Just throwing names out there. I've just asked him. He's come back with Jose Mourinho. I've come back with Big Sam.
Come up with... Shut up. I don't think it's the worst. I don't think... It's harsh. Don't get me wrong, Mike. It's harsh. And I feel for him. I don't know. If they're backed by Red Bull, right? You say they're backed by Red Bull. They got a few quid, right? It might be, they might have a manager.
Postecoglou?
Well, Pochettino, I don't know. He's like proper a top manager. Leeds are
Why don't you go for Jurgen Klopp then?
Well, yeah, but
if you're backed by the Red Bull, he's a Red Bull.
Yeah, but he's
up there.
He's too big. He's too big.
I don't see that.
Yeah,
I don't see him leaving Liverpool and going to Leeds.
No, that's not.
They'd never forgive him.
But Leeds are a massive football club, big fan base. You can't afford to go back down again. You can't be that yo-yo club. You're bigger than that. You're You're not Norwich. Do you know what I mean? You're not Watford. You're bigger than that.
Yeah, and again, whatever they decide, I'll back the club no matter what. There have been people that have been against Farke since the beginning. Some of them changed their tunes now just due to what he's done, his record, the fact he's actually got us up now. So it's a tough one.
Where do you need to improve? If he was going to say, like we've got to sign some players, what's happening?
Goalkeeper straight away, a new number 10, probably a new striker, and then fullbacks depending on if Firpo re-signs a new contract or not.
Just spent a lot of money there, by the way. I know you know that, Mike. You just spent the thick 150 million there.
Yeah, but again, you don't have to spend big to get a decent player.
No, fair enough.
I mean, look at Tanaka for 3 million. He's one of the best players in the Championship this season.
Look what Forest have done. They're two centre halves. You know, they've picked him up for an absolute.
No, listen, not the Forest done some unbelievable business. Yeah, top work they did.
Yeah,
fair,
it's an uncomfortable conversation. I can only imagine how you feel. Actually, it must have taken a little bit of a gloss off. I mean, there's a very good chance. Well, I expect you to go up as champions as well, and that will be a bit weird. I'm guessing there's going to be an open top bus.
Nah, if you win the Championship, you get sacked. That's poor.
You get sacked winning the Championship. I mean, that's brutal, isn't it?
I don't think it's ever been done. Obviously, I know Maresca left Leicester last year, but he left to join Chelsea. He wasn't sacked.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember, there's no team that's gone up as champions from the Championship anyway. I think League One to Championship has happened before.
Kind of rate it. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. I know
it's hell of a statement, isn't it?
Well, it's hell of a. It is.
But Joe Watson, right? It's fine. But if you don't get it right,
of course,
and you end up halfway through December sacking the new manager, then you look like you're there to be shot at.
Yeah, 100%. We'll be absolutely crucifying them. But if they do make that call and Leeds have a good and they actually and they're the team that stays up out of the teams that have come up.
Start a trend.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it might need something like that to shake it up. Maybe it might need something like that. I'm sick of seeing these teams come up. Burnley come up, smash the Championship to bits. Couldn't get the ball from them. They come up, they get pumped every week. Do you know, like if Southampton come up, Leicester come up.
Yeah.
Every time they come up, they go back down. Maybe it needs to,
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe there needs to be a little. There is a gap between the Championship and the Premier League with players. Maybe there's a gap with managers as well.
But here's the question: whose place do you take? Who? If they stay up, who goes down?
Yeah, well come on, mate. You can't have that conversation. What do you mean?
No, well, I mean...
What you're basically saying is like it's pointless them coming up because the other teams are too good to go down.
Let's have that conversation. Whose place do you think is vulnerable, Mike? If you had to look at it now, and let's say that you finish 17th, who is the team that's going to finish 18th?
Again, it's too early to see because you've got to think about transfers, who's coming in, who's coming out.
Yeah.
Fulham potentially. Depends what happened with their manager, if they sell any of their top players, if they're linked with anybody. Again, I'm not saying that Fulham are going to go down, but...
Man United.
Spurs?
I'd love both of them to go down.
Oh, dear. Listen, Mikey, thanks for coming on, mate.
Good luck.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.